All right. Well, first, I would like to introduce you to our next speaker. Her name is Uta Patinkin. Can we bring her on? We're going to have Uta Patinkin. There she is. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Shayna.
How are you?
I'm great.
Uta is a painter. She works in Israel, but she also had some education in New York. Is that right?
Yes, I studied in New York in the New York Studio School for 4 years. I came back to Israel 2013.
I want to give our viewers a look at your studio. It is breathtaking, and I really want to visit.
Welcome to my studio. This is where I work. This is my painting table. So I usually mix some colors before I start to work. This is the setup where the model is posing right here. She's posing for this painting that I'm currently working on. As you can see, it's in the very beginning. I just redraw the whole figure again. These are some watercolor sketches. I usually start the day in the studio doing some watercolors in the garden, which really brings me back to the core of painting, just pure brush strokes. I like to work on several paintings at a time, so I switch between them. So I work on small scale paintings and I work on large scale canvases and different subject matters, portraits, landscape, and still life.
Where is that studio? Because it just looks like something that I could only have dreamed of as a little girl, thinking about being a painter in the woods.
I know. This is my small paradise, and it's located in Moshav Tzafririm, which is around the area of Bet Shemesh. So this is where we live, me and my husband, Avner Levinson. And I have a studio here, and we have also a studio in Tel Aviv.
That is such a dream that you were able to live in two cities that you love with your beloved and working and painting and making sculptures and teaching. And I hope that it's been a dream for you as it looks. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started painting?
Yeah, I actually began painting in a very young age. I grew up in a kibbutz in the south of Israel. It's an isolated place in the desert, very small community. And it was just, I always loved to do creative stuff. And when I was around 13, I took a small caravan that was out of use and I made it my studio. And I just brought all the materials, my paints, and I spent so many hours there by myself after school. And yeah, that was my first studio. So I started just, with myself without any guidance.
Beautiful. Did you ever believe that you'd grow up and be a full-time painter?
I don't think I ever thought about it this way. I just thought, well, I love to do that. And it was always part of my world and always part of what I did. And it was kind of like a driving force for me, and slowly it just became to be what I do and who I am. And I think particularly when I studied in New York, it became clear to me that I'm a painter and this is what I do.
Wow, that is so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what inspires you to paint. Do you have moments that you feel more like you want to work than others? Do you have a routine?
So I have a daily routine in the studio, and so I don't wait for inspiration to come. I just more a kind of an artist that drives the inspiration out of the ritual of going to the studio. And through this work of painting, things just appears, and you get these special moments when everything just works perfectly. And also, like, the subject matters there. It's not a big statement or I don't know, heroic moment. It's usually very private moment of one person in a room, um, in a more mood, not doing some action. It's just watching a person in a private moment.
Okay, and that's meaningful to you.
Yeah.
So tell us also, first, I would love, we have a few of your pieces here. What's the first one that you'd like to show us? I want to see one of your works and show it to everyone.
Oh, so you can show the King of Clubs. That's
Okay.
kind of
King of
written.
Clubs.
Yeah, that's from a series of work that I did of the card players, which is my most recent exhibition, solo exhibition, that it was this year. And that was very exciting project for me. It's it was very different from my usual studio practice. Instead of inviting the model to my studio to pose for me in a setup that I built, I went to Jerusalem, and I went to a place where a group of retired men used to gather and play cards. And I just watched them, and they weren't posing for me, and I was just part of watching them in their world, and it was so natural. And they were just playing and talking and cursing and drinking coffee, and it was very natural. So for me, it was very exciting to paint them directly from life. So I did a lot of sketches, small sketches, and this painting is quite large. I don't remember exactly the size, but I think about 2 meters the width.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a big piece, and it was done out of these all small sketches that I did directly from looking at the card players. So that was very interesting for me, because working with a group of characters and the relations between them and everything that's going on in the game and all the action, that was very interesting. And also, card playing is a subject matter that was dealt with in art history many times by many artists. And that was also kind of interesting for me. My work to other artists, especially to Cezanne series of card players.
Okay. So where do you sell these pieces?
I am represented by Rossi Fine Art Gallery in Tel Aviv. So I work with them. And I have all my work in my website, patinkin.com. So people can see everything that I do. I try to update it every once in a while. Yeah, and that's it. and developed this new series of work, as you mentioned, which is about windows. So part of the painting is seeing the inside, and part of the painting is seeing the outside and relation between the two worlds.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Uta, it was such a pleasure getting a little insight into what the life of an artist is, how you got started, and your paintings, in my opinion, are absolutely unbelievable. And I love looking through your site. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Anna.